Hi, Hawk fans. Welcome back to your on-campus interviews. I'm here with Jose. I'll have you introduce yourself.
Hey there, my name is Jose Gonzalez. I'm DSU, Dickinson State University's starting 125-pounder.
For men's wrestling.
For men's wrestling, yeah, of course.
So what inspired you to start wrestling, and how did you get into the sport?
Let's start with how did I get into the sport? Well, my cross-country coach was he was the wrestling coach at the same time, and he kept asking me he just kept asking me, hey, come out for wrestling, we need numbers. And I didn't want to. I wanted to go play basketball, but mind you, my freshman year, I was 5 foot tall. No inches, just 5'0".
5'0".
And then my friend, Brian, who was not that much taller than me, said, let's make a bet. If I win on a game of basketball, you got to try out for the wrestling team. And that's how I started. Obviously, I lost 21-0, but you know, that's how it goes. Sometimes you win some, you lose some, and I lost really bad. I started wrestling, and honestly, the only thing I remember was just a lot of fury. I was just so like passionate, but also angry. Like I was the biggest sore loser in that room. I'd lose to the weakest kid in that room, and I wouldn't understand why. I'm like, this guy should not be beating me. I should not be losing to someone. And it just made me stick it out and just inspired me to like get better. And honestly, going through that season, I've seen a lot of changes in my body, whether that be puberty or just obviously the intense training that you do at wrestling. It's really inspired me to keep going, and I spent a whole summer. Then my sophomore year, I almost made it to stay as a second-year wrestler, and that just kept me going, and I just kept grinding since.
And what has been the most memorable moment of your wrestling career so far?
So far, there's been a lot of memorable moments, like qualifying for state my senior year for the first time. Couldn't because of COVID, but then my senior year I had the chance. Or it could be my freshman year beating some ranked guys, or my sophomore year, honestly, I would have to say my third match at Nationals. It was a really close one, it was a really tight one, we were in overtime, and I ended up just giving it to the guy at the last period, and there's, I think, like 5 seconds left on the board, and I just sent it. And that's just what wrestling is. You just send it. You just keep going and just sending it and just keep pouring on a guy. And I just love that physical aspect of wrestling.
Yeah.
And I managed to scrape that match by, and it was just a memorable feeling. I remember just feeling so elevated. I was on cloud 9. So I'd have to say that blood round match, or not the blood round, the one before that at Nationals.
Yeah. And what's the hardest part about wrestling, and how do you overcome it?
If you know me, you know I love to eat. And if you know wrestling, anything about wrestling, it has to deal with a lot of cutting weight and nutrition. And so I would say the hardest part is cutting out my favorite foods, which are not the healthiest, but you know, definitely that cutting weight part. The practices can be a little tough, but I just love the grit of wrestling. So
yeah,
that one doesn't bother me. It's more so cutting out and dieting.
Yeah.
For sure.
And what goes through your mind when you're on the mat and you're like ready to face the other guy?
You guys told me I couldn't swear, so can't really say exactly what I think, but it's along the lines that I'm gonna beat this guy up for making me diet, making me have to cut out my favorite food.
Okay.
That's part of it. And the other part is just like, let's go out there and have some fun. Let's see what you got.
Do you have any pre-match rituals?
Yeah, I tend to walk out to the edge of the mat, slap my calves awake, thighs, arms, and then I slap my back and chest and my face at the end just to wake up, you know, get the jitters out.
Get ready.
Get really anxious right before, so I just have to do something to wake up.
Yeah. And obviously, I know you're an RA and you're involved in other things. How do you balance wrestling with other activities and your academics?
Well, as for RAs, you're only on duty once a week, so as long as it's not like right before early morning practice or anything like that, just make sure I like gauge everything. And on duty is usually where I do most of my homework. I'm taking like 3-4 online classes right now, so it's actually really easy to like manage it just because all the teachers posted everything from the start to the end of the semester, and they give you like a timeline.
Yeah.
Make sure you do it before the timeline and you're good.
Yeah. And we ask this to everyone on Hawk Talk. So what does DSU mean to you?
DSU, I was thinking about this. Why am I even here? It's really cold. Really cold. But honestly, DSU is a community. It's perfect for any college student to find a part-time job and just grow and become independent. I remember starting off as a freshman just anxious and afraid, and now as my third year as a junior, I enjoyed my time here at DSU. I'm still enjoying my time here at DSU. I got a part-time job. I'm learning how to cook for myself in terms of like dieting for this wrestling program. And also it's just a land of opportunity here at DSU. I thought I was going to be stuck in my community, in my local JUCO, and here I am doing a 4-year and full ride, and I'm just happy. I'm just blessed to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good luck on the rest of your season. Good luck to the whole team as well.
Yeah. No,
so,
sure.
Thank you for being on here and representing men's wrestling.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go to in studio.
Perfect. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hawk Talk. I'm your in-studio host, Xander Beeson. I'm joined by a very special guest. I'll have you introduce yourself to the people.
Hey guys, I'm Faith Brennen. I am from the DSU track and field team, and I'm from Kalispell, Montana.
Very nice. What brought you to DSU?
Which time?
Both times. We'll go both times.
First time was definitely because track, and then in addition to that, it was the first year for cheerleading, but then I left for a little bit of time, like 3 years. Just a little bit of time, right?
Yeah, not too long.
And then
Most people can get a degree in 3 years.
I know, tell me
And
about
you
it.
were
All my
gone.
friends are graduating. It's great, kinda. Anyways, but came back because actually Whitcop reached out to me and was like, hey, you wanna come back? I was like, sure.
Yeah.
So track.
Track. When did you realize that track? 'Cause I'm assuming you did other sports. I know you did. You were big into parkour. I've seen the videos on your Instagram. What during that whole process of just finding out you can do all these crazy things made you realize, yeah, I'm going to go be a track athlete, and a pretty good one too, I should say.
Okay, funny story. I got cut from the softball team. That's what it was. In high school, I got cut from softball, and my track coach came up to me and was like, so, you're going to come run? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? And I actually didn't start jumping till pretty sure my sophomore year of high school even. So I didn't even jump at all my first year.
Okay. So yeah, like you said, you took time off, went and explored other interests like parkour and doing all that. Whitcop reached out to you, and since you've been back, you've won 2 Field Athletes of the Week. You're competing in conference. You've qualified for nationals. How does it feel to see all this success after taking 3 years off?
It's exciting. Definitely like a reassurance. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Okay.
Sounds right.
It's reassurance from like choosing this way, especially because I want to stick to God's plan and everything. And he was like, hey, go this way. And I've actually listened, and this is like, good job.
Yeah.
It's like a good job.
Fruits of your
Faith.
labor or whatever, yeah. But, so you have conference this weekend at the time of recording.
Yes.
In Brookings, South Dakota?
Yes.
And the nationals is Florida?
Gainesville, Florida,
Gainesville, Florida. What are some of the goals you have for both conference and nationals? Because you're already pre-qualified for nationals, so how much weight does competing one more time before nationals mean?
Okay, so conference is more so just a conference deal. It doesn't really affect too much when it comes to nationals. It's just basically two completely different deals.
Yeah.
Conference-wise, I plan on getting a couple different titles for things. We shall see what those are. And then for nationals, I am hopefully going to get a title there as well. So those are the goals.
What events are you competing in at conference? I remember we talked, you said like 5 events.
Okay, so I just got off the phone with my coach this morning too, discussing this. Okay, so I have the 60-meter dash, and that's straight away. And then I have 60-meter hurdles, which is right after that. And both of those, you have to pre-qualify for finals.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll have
Prelims.
my prelims and then finals. And then I have triple jump and long jump, and both of those have prelims and finals. So
So you're going to be very busy in Brookings.
And I'm going to be on the go.
But nationals, you're only doing?
Triple jump.
Only triple jump, okay. Obviously, you don't want to look too far ahead because you still have your conference, your nationals, but what are your thoughts towards outdoor season right now? Because outdoor in North Dakota is a very interesting sport.
It's fun.
Because it's always changing. I did track in high school in Wyoming, and it was like they would give us a schedule at the beginning of the year and be like, none of this is for sure
accurate.
So what are your thoughts on outdoor?
I'm ready for it. I'm so used to it because throughout high school, competing in Montana, I remember one track meet, I got hail. It was like hail, thunder, sunny, windy.
Yeah.
Like it was every single thing that it could possibly be all in one day.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just so used to it. I guess it doesn't really affect me that much, but I'm ready to start my outdoor season.
Very
It's
nice.
always a little bit better.
Yeah. When I sent you these questions, you were very confused about this one, but I want you to take all the events that you do and take your least favorite one out, delete it from track and field history forever, and replace it with something that's not currently a track and field event that you think you'd be good at. What would you make an event?
Get rid of the 800.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. I cannot stand that one. Let's replace it with knitting.
Knitting?
Yeah, let's
Knitting
see
is
how
an
fast you can
event.
knit a blanket. Not just like with those, hand knitting.
Oh, okay.
One of those big blankets.
A big how big does the blanket have to be? Is there different classes? So how like there's different distances and races?
Well,
is there different sizes
there's
of
gonna be
blankets?
different. Yeah, exactly.
We might be onto something here. Last question, we ask this to everybody that comes on Hawk Talk. What does DSU mean to you?
That's a good one. DSU to me means basically it's never too late to start, ever.
I like that.
That's like the best way I could put it.
I mean, technically you started on time, but then you wanted to go jump from building to building and do flips in the foam pit and then came back.
travel
Travel the
do a little
world.
bit of everything.
'Cause you were living in North Carolina there for a little bit, weren't you?
Yeah, I
You were
lived there
everywhere.
for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Very nice. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Good luck this weekend and moving forward with Nationals and Outdoor, and we will see you guys next week.
I'm Cash Randle, and I'm your host for 60 Seconds with Orton. How did you and Michelle meet, Mr. Orton?
We were both coaching in Colorado. I was at a college down there. She was at a high school where she was coaching, a small high school where she had a few players. And she had a really, really strong girls team. And we wanted one of her players. And so I drove over there, and she met me. And ever since then, that's all she thinks about is me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
It
happens a lot, So, that's kind of how it happened.
It's very cool.
She kind of stalked me and did all sorts of weird.
It's very
just
romantic.
odd, so yeah.
Very romantic.
What up, Hawk fans? This is Emma Welch back with your weekly DSU sports recap. The men's wrestling team didn't have much going on this week. However, they're going to be hitting the road next week and going to Iowa. And same with the women's wrestling team. They also didn't have much going on this week. The men's and women's basketball teams traveled to Mayville and Valley City last week. The men's team lost to both teams. However, the women's team had a split with a win to Valley City. The teams will be taking on Jamestown at home on Friday, so fill the stands of Scott Gym to support the Blue Hawks. The indoor track teams headed to Fargo last week to compete in the Beeson Open and will be competing in conference this weekend, so good luck to the indoor track teams at their conference tournament. The softball team was on the road last week with multiple games. They had a loss against Jamestown, but came back with wins against UMary, Dakota Wesleyan, and Mayville. The team will be traveling again this week with games against Dort, Iowa, another matchup against Dakota Wesleyan, Briarcliff, Iowa, and Mount Marty, Iowa. The baseball team also doesn't have any games this week. However, they'll be continuing spring ball next week on the road. Finally, the cheer team is on the road this week with competitions in Yankton and a 2-day competition in Orange City, Iowa. So good luck to the cheer teams as they work to defend their ranking in the NAIA. That's all I got for you guys this week. Thank you so much to our sponsors Consolidated for the continued support. Until next time, Hawks are up.